So the engine guard is always the first thing we do because it allows us to get the bike up and work on the rest of it.
Exactly, you've got a safe platform, the bike's not going to tip off the stand or anything like that.
Great, okay. So what does the bike come with?
So the bike comes with a plastic engine guard. It's mounted directly onto the sump with some rubber bungs. I mean, it works for general road use and sort of light off-roading, but it's not designed for sort of heavy adventure use. The shock, as it stands at the moment, the shock's going to go straight through the engine guard, through the rubber bungs. Although there's some damping there, it's still going to put a lot of the force through the sump and the engine, which is a pretty bad idea.
Yeah, so really having an engine guard mounted to the engine block is limiting. So yeah, okay. So it was fairly straightforward to get that off. What did we do?
It's just 4 nuts on the bottom to get the actual main plastic bulk off, and then underneath that it reveals the 4 M8 threaded rubber bungs, and you just have to get the spanner like you see in the video. Make sure you're gripping on that little metal bit at the top of the rubber bung and just ease them out. Once you've done half turn, you can just do it with your fingers to save damage any paintwork on the bottom of the engine.
Yeah, that came off super easy. And like you say, it'd be fine for road work. I mean, it was kind of okay, but you wouldn't want it to take any big hits.
Aesthetically, it looks cool, but the function's just not quite there for what we need to get out of it.
Okay, so that comes off, and what are we putting on and how do we put it on?
So our engine guard's the tubular steel design. This keeps the weight down, it keeps it very rigid, and it also acts as a bit of a rad protector as well on the 310 because we've got the bars coming right up to the radiator. So once we've got all that sort of stuff off, we're going to start iron our engine guard up, get that in place, and put all the correct fittings in.
And the Rally Raid engine guard is mounted to the frame?
That's it, the biggest difference. Instead of putting all the force through the engine itself, we go to the rear of the bike, so we mount on an actual main rear frame stay, and the engine lugs at the front. So very secure, sending all the force through the frame of the bike, not the engine.
Okay, so talk us through how we did that.
Okay, so first step, you need to get our brackets and our new bolts into the engine lugs. So removing the OEM ones first. You want to keep these to one side because these are reused in the rear of the engine guard. So using the new cap head screw and spacer washer and bracket, you put those on the front, facing backwards, making sure they're in the correct left-right positions. Then next, it's everything you do at the moment, you want to be finger tight. You don't want to tighten anything up, so everything can rotate and be free to get everything correctly positioned. Once you've got those in, it's a case of eyeing the engine guard up. You want to put it on the bike left hand first, sort of wiggling it round the front of the bike so you can clear the coolant hose. And once you've got that in a good position, if you can just slide the rear of the engine guard up into the sort of the mounts, you can see where they are on the video, and you just put the 2 engine bolts that you took out originally just to secure that there, get it all held in just for the time being so it doesn't drop on the floor while you're putting the rest on.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. And do we tighten as we go?
No, not for the time being, keeping everything loose until you've done the next step of mounting the brackets onto the engine guard with the 2 plates. So at this point you want to get those not tight, finish tight, but just above finger tight, so there's holding some pressure between the engine guard so the 2 plates are clamped together. At this point you can see that everything's lined up, there's no excess pressure or movement on the engine guard anywhere, and then you start tightening it up going from the rear. So you tighten the 2 rear ones with the nylocks provided, and then you tighten the brackets, and then finally you tighten the engine mounts, and this locks the position for the bracket.
Great. And I know you're very used to doing this work, but for someone that hasn't done it before, they just use the torque settings supplied?
Yeah, all the torque settings are provided in the instructions online.